Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boxing Officials Training Channel. This is Armando Garcia, and today we are continuing with our Judge Training and Review Seminar series. In our initial four-part video segment, we outlined the professional boxing scoring criteria and examined how they are applied in real rounds. The final segment moved into practical analysis, evaluating rounds considered either controversial or simply difficult to score, beginning with Lewis versus Holyfield 1, rounds 7 and 10. For these seminars, rather than relying on recent or well-known rounds, I intentionally revisit older, sometimes forgotten bouts, where memory is less certain and independent scoring discipline matters most. Our analysis assumes familiarity with the scoring criteria and how each criterion connects with each other. So viewers who are new to the criteria may wish to review those videos before proceeding. Today, we're going to review a very competitive round of boxing, round 10 of the 2006 Fight of the Year between Sithchatchawal of Thailand and French star Monshipour. This bout ended at 2:42 of round 10. Now, before we break down the action, let's look at the scorecards through 9 rounds. 5 of the first 9 rounds were inconsistent. Round 2 reflected complete disagreement. One judge scored it even, one for Monshipour and one for Sithchatchawal. There was no shared interpretation of that round. In the remaining split rounds, 2 judges agreed and 1 diverged. One judge diverged twice, once against each boxer. Another diverged twice as well, again, once in each direction. The third judge aligned with the majority in every round where a clear majority existed. At first glance of the scorecards, there appears to be no clear directional bias. What we see instead is selective disagreement. To understand that selective disagreement, we must examine how the scoring elements operate within the round itself. Let's examine round 10, a hard-fought round, and see how it fits into that pattern. Round 10 presents a clear scoring challenge. Clean punching, effective aggression, and active defense are all in play. We must evaluate how often the hardest punches landed, the contrast between early movement and sustained pressure, the mid-round momentum shift, and the late clean counters. Now, if this round goes the distance, who wins? We're going to watch round 10 in full with no interruption now. Take in what you see. Let's stay disciplined, apply the scoring criteria, and see who won up to the moment of the stoppage.
Ici à Levallois, en France, derrière votre téléviseur, vous êtes forcément scotché face à cette dépense d'énergie, face à ce Maillard Monshipour qui démontre ce soir qu'il est un géant.
Et qu'il a face à lui quelqu'un qui est également un géant, parce qu'il faut être deux pour faire ce genre de combat. Un peu plus de précision, Maillard, si tu peux. Attention. Allez.
Allez, forcément, il y a eu des conseils dans le coin thaïlandais, Souria.
Somsak enchaîne tellement les coups que son entraîneur s'inquiète pour lui. Il lui demande, est-ce que tu prends le temps de respirer? Est-ce que tu respires entre chaque coup?
La réponse, c'est non.
Ah, c'est bien. Non, ce qu'il pourrait faire, c'est utiliser un peu plus, évidemment, ses jambes. Mais il est en retard. Sithchatchawal, il est en retard, il n'a pas le choix. Il faut qu'il fasse son front. Il faut qu'il essaie de gagner même maintenant. Avant la limite, il reste 3 rounds. Maillard doit avoir 4 points d'avance à peu près.
Maillard Monshipour, qui lors de ses 6 derniers championnats du monde, on l'a vu dans le petit sujet, l'aigle Monshipour, eh bien, a toujours terminé avant la limite.
Oh là là là. Oh, il n'en veut plus, il n'en veut plus. Il n'en veut plus.
Et comme il ne mettra pas un genou à terre.
Alors c'est l'arbitre qui arrêtera parce que s'il ne répond plus.
Il faut qu'il y ait une dizaine, une quinzaine de coups sans que le boxeur ne réponde pour que l'arbitre
Attention Maillard,
lit
attention.
dans le regard du boxeur sache s'il doit l'arrêter ou pas.
Il n'est pas venu pour rien, hein, je crois, Sithchatchawal. Mais il doit pas revenir. Il doit pas en revenir, il n'en peut plus. Mais il reste toujours dangereux. Attention.
Ouais. Oh, attention Maillard. Attention Maillard. Allez. Ouais. Et heureusement qu'il va le faire parce que Maillard est à... Oh là, de droite traqué. Maillard.
Attention l'arbitre.
Allez. Attention. Non. Non. Oh, il arrête. Non, c'est pas vrai. C'est pas vrai. C'est un non. Non.
Now that we've seen the round, hold on to your evaluation. Both fighters had success. Momentum shifted from early to middle to late. Clean punching changed hands. Defense created scoring opportunities. This type of round can surely produce selective disagreement, depending on which phase a judge emphasizes most. Now let's apply the scoring criteria: fair blows first, then effective aggression, ring generalship, and active defense. Sithchatchawal starts the round well with sharp movement and early counterpunching. He uses active defense to slip, roll, and block as Monshipour comes forward. His clean 1-2 combinations help check the pressure. The mid-round fall is not caused by a punch. He is off balance and immediately recovers. He fatigues briefly, then regains command and rocks Monshipour with clean shots late in the round. Monshipour presses forward throughout the round and lands several clean hard rights and lefts to the head, along with body shots. He then has his best stretch in the middle of the round, controlling the action for about a minute with varied combinations. But he then fades late under Sithchatchawal's cleaner counters and is unable to defend the final barrage. Both fighters land meaningful punches, but Sithchatchawal lands the cleaner and more damaging ones overall. His head combinations at the end of the round are the most effective blows of the round. Monshipour scored well mid-round, but that work does not outweigh the late round effect produced by Sithchatchawal. Monshipour's aggression is steady and productive for part of the round, especially during the mid-round stretch. But Sithchatchawal's aggression is more effective. He fires at the right moments, lands cleaner shots, and initiates the action that ultimately ends the bout. His late round scoring is much more effective than Monshipour's earlier pressure. Control of the ring shifts at times, but Sithchatchawal consistently sets the terms of the meaningful exchanges. He manages distance well, refuses to be trapped, and uses the ropes strategically to set counters. Monshipour gains control in the middle of the round, but it does not last or dictate the direction of the action. Sithchatchawal uses defense as a scoring tool. He slips, rolls, blocks, and immediately counters. His movement and timing create openings, and those counters have great effect. This is where he separates himself. His defense not only prevents scoring, it creates scoring. This defensive skill leads directly to the decisive sequence at the end of the round. The final sequence begins with a clean 2 to 3 punch combination that staggers Monshipour. A harder follow-up lands clean and unanswered. With no defensive return and visible damage, the referee intervenes. The stoppage confirms the scoring. It does not replace it. This round is a reminder that defense can be an offensive tool. Sithchatchawal uses movement, timing, and disciplined defense to create openings for the cleanest and most damaging blows. Monshipour works hard and lands meaningful shots, but effort alone does not outweigh clean, effective punches. The fighter who wins the criteria often creates and ultimately finishes that decisive moment. Thank you again so very much for watching. Your feedback is welcome, and stay tuned for the next analysis round.